8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is going on, people? What is going on? Welcome back. It's Thursday night, so you know what that means. It's Prem Panel Show time, and I am very excited because we got a full house today. What's going on, everyone? Aaron, KG, Lewis, George, what's happening, boys?
All
good.
All good.
All good.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what? We've already spoken to KG, so we know how he feels. So it doesn't even feel fresh at the moment. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Oh, George, we'll get there. But welcome all. Make sure you smash the like button, guys. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's link will be in the description to their channel. As always, please make sure you get over there and support the other boys as well. Do you know what I mean? Get that done. Subscribe to us if you're new as well. And yeah, let's get into this, boys. Now, I think I'm going to start at the worst place and then we'll move the other way. And no, it's not the Leeds game, KG. It's Conte. It is Tottenham. It has to be. 3 defeats out of 4. It was nearly 4 in a row. He managed to save himself. He managed to... I didn't want to make it sound bad, bro. I didn't want to make it sound bad. Or worse than it already does.
Mate, it's impossible. So let's just rip the band-aid, get it all out.
Tottenham pull off the unbelievable task of going to the Etihad and getting a win. There are very few teams in the world who go to the Etihad and get a win. Scoring 3 goals as well, which is also very unlike them. City never concede goals.
Big up for that.
Yeah.
Look, we just want to make the league interesting. That's all it was.
No, respect for that, though. Respect for that.
I got you guys.
You actually have.
But solid.
Let's talk about what happened after the game. Forget the game because obviously Burnley was a bad defeat for you guys. Although I will say Burnley are playing obviously well at the moment and they've got the bit between their teeth and they're really trying to fight for their lives. It isn't as easy a game as everybody thought it would be when you just look at the team that's in the relegation zone. But Tottenham should have not lost the game at the very least. Do you get what I mean? Like they should have got out of there with a draw at least. But it's Conte, George. It's the way he's talking. I've been talking with a few people today. Big up Tapping Tobs as always. I was with him today. He and quite a few other Tottenham fans don't believe in any way this him saying he's going to walk away right now. And the argument is he's shaking the tree. He's trying to get the fruit to fall from the tree at the top, which is where he needs to get to actually get get things done. Where are you coming from on this, George? Because to us, I think everyone who's looking in, it's almost like he's saying, I've already realised I can't do this and I can't really be bothered. But from an inside point of view, I want to know what you think, bro. What do you think of his comments leading up to and then in that press conference?
I think I'm more on their side as well, in that I don't think I don't think it's an imminent leave. It doesn't, to me, he doesn't really seem like the guy that actually would leave like partway through a season, especially only being 3 months in charge, 12 games in. I think even for like someone of his that's a bit much. I do definitely think it's him setting the precedent for the summer, basically literally saying, look, and he was right as well in the fact that we've changed our managers in the last 5 years, the exact same team pretty much, obviously a few players here and there, but realistically there's a lot of the same players that we had since obviously when Poch was declining right at the end of his time at Spurs. And again, nothing's changed. Every Spurs fan every year would tell you that in the summer or any sort of window, we want to get rid of the deadwood, bring in some fresh players and even when Poch was in charge and things were going well, bro, he went 2 years without a transfer, without a player coming in because we were stubborn and because we thought we could get away with the fact that Poch was doing his magic with this current crop team. And it just meant that we had the same players for far too long. And we all know how Conte operates. He's done it before at Chelsea. He did it at Inter. He basically wanted more reinforcements at Inter to be able to win the league again the following year. And Inter said, look, we can't do that. We have to sell big players. Ended up being Lukaku. We have to sell big players. We've got to get some money in somehow. And he said, all right, well, I'm leaving then because I don't think you can win it again without spending more money. And I think he put the pressure on as well after the first season on them to sign players. And they did. They bought Hakimi. They brought in quite a few players the summer previously and ended up winning the league from it. So, yeah, I think it's just him having a cry out to the boards, standing up and saying, look, I want to win the league. And obviously people are going to laugh because it's Spurs, but that's Conte at the end of the day. He wants to win the league at whatever team he's at. So he's kind of laying the foundations to kind of be like, look, you've got to get rid of all of the crap in this team in the summer and bring in some top players. Otherwise, I am going in the summer if we're not going to do that. So yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty ropey few months for Spurs. Like I said, I don't think he'll walk straight away, but his comments were very, very strong indeed.
Yeah, I mean, before I bring it back to you, I'm going to give this one to Aaron because Aaron knows what it's like to have a manager that's causing toxicity, should we say, amongst the fan base and whatnot. Conte, bro. Now, even at Liverpool, sometimes we moan that Klopp will be like the good guy and he won't really say anything and it'll confuse us with what he's saying based on what we're seeing and things like that. Do you believe it's good to have a manager that will call out bullshit? Do you believe it's good that Conte's actually not having it in public? Or do you think, you know what, maybe this is an example of why your Guardiolas and your Klopps and your Fergusons never let anybody really know what was going on because it just looks too like, you know, it's almost like neighbours hearing you argue. You know what I mean? You know, like you don't really want your neighbours to know your business. How do you think about Conte and what he's saying?
I think that's just how he is. It's just how he is, and he's always been like this. And I think even yesterday, I mean, some of it sounded funny, but when he was banging on about the fact that he's got ambition, I could clearly see what he means, and I could hear it in his voice. And we're talking about someone who, it's not, I was going to say a year ago, it's been a few months. He won the league in Serie A.
Yeah.
Like, he actually won a league title, and he's being put in a position like this. You can't blame him for speaking out. You can't blame him for being upset. Yes, to a few people, it might come across as, no, we shouldn't be saying that, etc., but that's how he is. You knew you was potentially going to get this outcome with what he's done at Inter. You know, George touched on it. Didn't get no funds, didn't get the back end. He said, cool, I'm out. Went to Tottenham. You had to at least expect some of it if there was a similar situation. And I guess all of us were even joking about it when he first signed. It was like, oh, imagine he walks out if he's at Tottenham. Well, look at it now. Yeah, he's potentially about to do it. So
is this why Man U stayed away from him, Aaron?
I think this is why they stayed away from him because they don't like situations like this. They've had it with Jose, but Jose didn't literally walk out. It was so toxic they had to get rid of him. And I think the board doesn't like, or the Manchester United hierarchy doesn't like people calling out stuff that's going wrong. You know, they like people like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer who are just going to be there, smile, be happy, and just make everyone believe that everything's rosy all the time. So I think that's the main reason why they stayed away from him. But let's say Conte does walk away. It wouldn't surprise me if Rangnick, because he's going to get that consultancy role, it wouldn't surprise me if Rangnick goes there and says, listen, you should have a look at Conte. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, Bob, you took one of my questions. Oh, no, we'll come back to that. Matt, I want to talk to you quickly before I move on to the other topic. I want to talk about Conte. We moan quite a lot, as I said, that we don't always know what's going on. And we kind of would wish that, you know, Klopp might let us know a few things or be a little bit more annoyed at things, especially the transfers. Is this an example of why he doesn't? Because look what it looks like now at Tottenham with Conte doing all this toxic talk.
Well, funny you say that. Yeah, so sometimes we have a guy, as you say, Jurgen, for maybe not telling the whole truth. And maybe
back in FSG, as people call it.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good and a bad thing because I think there's two sides to it. Because here's the thing. Yes, when things go wrong, we kind of we might point the finger at Klopp in it and be like, bro, just speak your mind, and he doesn't. But then you look at a Conte and you think to yourself, bro, even if things aren't going the way how you kind of expect, yeah, the way in which you conduct yourself, that wasn't the right thing to do. Like he just kind of just like blurbed it all out, innit? Almost like verbal diarrhea. Like it's like he couldn't wait to say these were the things that are wrong. You know, I came here to do a job. I can't do it, rare tear tear. So if that's not going to happen, then maybe I'm not the guy. Bruv, you just beat Man City. Yes, you had a bad game, but people don't want to hear that right now. At least have that conversation maybe at the end of the season or something. Or say something along those lines at the end of the season where people can at least be like, all right, cool, end of the season, let's see what happens. But he's done that, and there's still games to play. That's why it's dangerous. And you're right, bro. I think if Jurgen Klopp went with that kind of approach, then we might be in a little bit more bother if he was a bit too truthful. I think you have to find that middle ground.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis,
I think even if you felt that way,
I
I
just
feel like Conte probably should have just had a private meeting with the board.
Mm.
Yeah, even if you wanted to say something, probably just say he's not happy with certain things, but I'll speak to him about it. To say the whole thing in the press conference was a bit much.
Lewis, you got first-hand experience, bro, so you're the best person to ask about this. How's it end? And when do you know you're close to the end? Because
bro, Conte's already there, my guy.
Notes.
Conte's already there. Yeah, my mic's working. Yeah, Conte's already there from the looks of it. And I'll be real, I have never, ever seen a manager verbally batter the team that he manages the way that he did after that Burnley game. He literally just said, like, this team's shit. And I might not have enough in there to take this team up to where it needs to be, and the board ain't gonna be there and back me for it. And I think Conte knows that as well. Like, he knows he's the king, and to an extent, he's better than the club that he's at. Like, if we're being real about it, he is, and he knows it. He's on a very high pay package, and he's on an 18-month contract. So to a point, he's got the freedom to say whatever he wants to say, because what are they going to do? Sack him? They can't really do anything about it. And he's not going to sit there and have his name tarnished and dragged into mud, and people say that he's to blame for the way the team are. And to a point, it is him. He still picks the lineup and everything. So he does have to shoulder some of the blame. But a lot of it is the players that they've had. The players that have failed under Poch. Yeah. The players have failed under Poch, the players that have failed under Mourinho, the players that are failing under Conte now. And the board as well, they don't show the ambition that Conte wants. And Conte's happy to take the money and everything. That's why he joined, under the promise as well that they could potentially grow and he could get the funding and the backing to take them to where he wants to take them. But he hasn't had it yet. And now Spurs are faltering. They're playing relegation form. We can't talk top of the league form. Even he said it was relegation form. He's not happy with the way that they are, and he's not going to take the blame for it. So I'm not surprised he's acted like this. I don't think it's a case of throwing the toys out of the pram and giving up, but you can see the frustration on this guy's face. And I don't think he's going to walk out, even though he's threatening to do it, because he will sit and wait until they sack him. He'll just let it get to that point. But he's not going to sit there and take it and say, like, I'm the reason for this. This one's on me. When he's got stuff out of the players before, like they literally just went to meet Manchester City the game before this. It's probably baffling to him the level of inconsistency that you see in the squad. Like, in spite of how poor they've been, they've beat City home and away. No one else has done that. No one else has beaten City home and away, but Tottenham have done it. So there is something in the squad. It's just Spursy, if we're being real. And he knows that it's a factor in the squad. And he's trying to get that mentality out of the players, but the players aren't showing that mettle, and they haven't shown it historically, which is why you have to back Antonio Conte and you have to give him all the money that he wants, because it's more than just getting rid of players. It's the mentality around the club that needs to change. And that's the biggest 100%. Thing that needs to change in Tottenham. And Conte can do that. 100% he can be the manager to take it. But that's why, literally, if I was the owner, I'd be giving him the keys. I'd be giving him the bank card. I'd be giving him everything and just say, do what you want. Do what you want. I'll come back in 2 years.
I agree with you totally. Like and I think, weirdly enough, every fan is backing Conte. They're just saying,
you guys have seen it.
We all want him to have the 150 million in the summer to do what he wants in this time. We know a lot of our players are not good enough. But what I find a bit weird though is that I don't understand why he's said all these comments so strongly so soon after the January window, because if anything, we've actually been more ruthless than we have been before. We got rid of 3 very toxic midfielders that he didn't want anywhere near the squad, and we loaned out a player he wasn't using for the meantime because he was too young and too fresh to the league. I think where the issue might have been is we didn't bring in enough players because we only signed 2, so we've not got enough space. I can understand the frustration there, but we have done something very unusual and have been a bit more ruthless, especially with Levy's favourites. He never wants to get rid of Dele Alli, especially for nothing. As well, especially with the amount of money we spent on Ndombele and Lo Celso to let them go out on loan with potentially leaving in the summer as well. We have been fairly ruthless in that respect. But and if you think about Arsenal didn't sign anyone. Chelsea didn't sign anyone. Man U didn't sign anyone. Like, we were doing more than other teams around us. It's just not.
But there's
Not
more
enough.
work to be done at Tottenham. That's the thing.
I know, but like, it's obviously such a typical thing to say. But it's going to be so much easier to do that in the summer. So I don't understand why he doesn't just sort of. I understand. Like,
that's one of Conte's weaknesses, though, because he just has no patience. He needs everything done immediately.
I feel like that. In the summer, we will be able to provide him a lot more than what he wants. I just don't understand why he's not quite riding out a little bit longer with what he's got at the moment. Because he knows the squad was shit from when he signed in the first place. So.
Yeah, like this is the thing. Conte does have a habit of throwing his toys out the pram like that. And I'll be real, you gotta get used to it for the rest of the season with him. If you guys drop any sorts of points, he's gonna just wash his hands of everything. And that's where he does get a bit annoying, because to some aspect he does have to take part of the blame. It's still the squad that he's picking, and they're still struggling to get results in games that they really should be getting results in. Like, you can say it has something to do with the mentality, but if you're the manager picking the side, you shoulder some of the blame as well. So that part is definitely on Conte. But the number one thing that has to change with Spurs is the one thing we've already known, is more than the team, it's the mentality around the whole squad from top to bottom.
Poch towards it. Well, a lot of people would describe Poch's team as too nice at the time, which is why we didn't quite get over the line of winning trophies of the league. Mourinho instantly came in, said we were too nice. We need to be more like bastards. Nuno came in and said this team is too nice. And now Conte is saying the same thing. So you're right. The mentality is shocking at our club right now. And a lot needs to change.
KG, I'll come to you, bro, because you've got a manager who's the opposite and really takes full blame all the time. And he never really blames players, and he just, says, it's on me, I've got the tactics right. Or he gives the opposition credit. Is there anything about Conte that you think is like toxic, or do you think it is, because you've got a manager who's the opposite? How do you feel about the way he operates?
No, I like the way that he operates. I like the way that he goes about his business. Just like I like how Ronaldo goes about his business, how Rafinha is currently perceived to go about his business. People that want to show a bit of emotion because they want to win, I've got no issues with that. I think that they get a rougher ride being spoken about, like people are saying, throwing his toys out the pram because he wants to be successful. That's crazy talk to me. I want my person to show that kind of passion. You even see it with your manager whenever he loses a game. All of a sudden, he doesn't know how to speak English no more because he doesn't want to talk. No, but it's something though. You've got to love that kind of mentality. I love all that stuff. So for me, it's not an issue. And Jose Mourinho said it before as well. And I said it to Spurs fans before as well. I said they needed to refresh that squad because it wasn't good enough. And you saw Jose, he tried to instill that mentality in them, worked for a little bit. But as the second half of the season came, they just waned off. And even Harry Kane said so. He said, I'm sorry, Jose, that everyone couldn't buy into what you were trying to do. So it's a squad issue with the makeup of the players.
And just quickly on that, like with Mourinho as well, it was our best players, the ones that were doing well, were the ones that were backing him. And the ones that were causing problems were the ones we had to get rid of, that weren't happy with the training and this, that, and the other one. Is like, because they're just not good enough to be at the level that he's demanding. And I feel like it's the same with Conte. Davis has gone from not being anywhere near good enough to get into a Poch team to now being a regular starter in this side. Sort of just shows you like the level of the squad, where the squad's at right now. There's work.
I mean, Arsene Wenger once said, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. So I guess that's kind of what KG's alluding to. Like, if you're happy with winning, then really you're not really a winner, innit? So Cal, I'll come to you on this one, because we've been through this with Liverpool where we had to just really actually shift our entire squad. Like, if you go and look back around 2015-16 and you look till now, it's just night and day, the difference. I mean, I saw a starting lineup the other day and I nearly cried of one of Klopp's first ever games. Like, I nearly cried. Do you think Tottenham actually need to hit the reset button, as in like what we did, like proper reset, where like they've got at least in 18 months' time, 10 members of the team are totally different?
Not over the period of 18 months, but yeah, I mean, everyone else just kind of said it. Like the reset button should have been hit from when Poch was here, not 3 managers later. It's negligent. What the board have done is negligent. Like, whether you want to run it as a business, as a football club or whatever, you don't let this happen to your team. Like, it's negligent. You saw like Harry Kane is a Tottenham boy through and through, innit? for him to say in the summer he wanted to leave and be open about it, you know there's stuff going on. And for things to still not improve, in fact, get worse. Like you got in the summer, you saw the whole manager debacle. Like how many managers they try and go for? Then they settled on like 8th choice and then sacked him within a couple of months. And then you get Conte in, who's a world-class manager, but you either get a project manager if you want to do a project, or you get a ready manager if you've got ready-made plans. And they're just not aligning. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. I rate what Conte did personally, because I think we as fans sit here and we ask and we crave for honesty, and when we get it, then we say, should we get it or not? He's honest. Like,
no, I agree.
If like, there's no coincidence. Poch, who I think is one of the best managers in the world, couldn't get over the line. Mourinho, like him or hate him, one of the best, couldn't get anything done. Nuno, again, we know he's not great, but he got a tune out of Wolves. And now we're seeing Conte, who in my opinion is top 5 in the world, struggling with, like, it's not the coaches. You've got to look at the players, but if the players aren't being moved on, the new ones aren't coming in, then you've got to look at the top. And I think that's where we're at.
Do you know what it seems like? What it has seemed like to me for the last couple of years is that, well, the Mourinho move to begin with, obviously, like a lot of fans were anti it because they know what football is like. But that was a move in the sense, you know what, we're going to spend money on a big manager to try and get the best out of this squad while we've got it. Because it was the same squad for the last 6 years under Pochettino that they were like trying to use. I think our owners were just trying to squeeze the best out of them possible. So let's spend big money on a manager to do that. And we've sort of gone and done that again. We're spending big money on having Conte in just to try and squeeze the best possible out of what the squad we've got. When we should realistically, if we're going to bring in someone like this manager, we have to bring in a whole new team with it as well. Like you said, should have happened 3 years ago. We shouldn't have gone 3 windows without signing a single player for Pochettino. That is criminal. No football club should be run like that at all. We're literally just trying to squeeze as much as possible out of this club because we got lucky once that Pochettino managed to create a great team out of it. But then if you remember, it's similar to what you're saying with Klopp. When Pochettino first took in charge, the team was atrocious. We had like the Townsends, who was totally useless at the time, and all sorts of just wrong-uns in the team.
Paulinho and
completely flipped around with some of his signings, and we've got basically a whole new 11 pretty much with Kane coming through the ranks. And now look at the team; most of them are still here.
Yeah, I mean, so before we move on to the next topic, I want to just ask everyone, just quickly, one word answer if you can. Does Conte walk before the end of the season? I'll start with Cal.
Yeah.
Matt?
No.
Lewis?
Nah.
Aaron?
Yes.
KG?
No.
And George, I'll finish it with you. Does he walk?
No, not until summer.
No, till the summer. Okay, it's going to be very interesting. We're going to have to stay tuned on this one. Conte's definitely the box office after Tottenham play, that's for sure. Moving on to another manager, because this is going to be a very manager-heavy show tonight. Bielsa, KG. It's kind of splitting the fan base a little bit from what it seems. He's adored in general, and there's nobody who's got a bad word to say about him. But where the split is now if he's actually, you know, the right man now, or if the time is up. Talk to me, bro. What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's been a lot more vocal. I would say that from just my video alone yesterday, there was a lot more people willing to see him go than ever before. It's never been like that. And even myself, just talking quite freely of just saying, from this summer onwards, I don't want to see this guy at Leeds anymore because he's not going to change. He's not going to adapt. And, you know, just quickly going over the 2 games against yourselves and Manchester United, because it's pretty much all in one game for us. The midfield runners, you know, going man for man against Paul Pogba with Adam Forshaw, Luke Ayling up against Sadio Mane. Oh my days! I mean, it just doesn't work. And then we had two set pieces that were, you know, Harry Maguire. There was all these firsts. This is what we do as well. Man United never scored a corner all season. We give him that. Harry Maguire hadn't scored a Premier League goal in the season. We give him that. What is it? Sancho, no assists. We give him that. So yeah, it's all mad. I think a lot more fans are more willing now for him to probably make a nice little exit if things don't change, because right now we've got the worst defense in the league. 56 goals conceded when we only conceded 54 in the whole of last season. It's just not good enough, man. And it's just not good enough,
crazy,
man.
Innit?
So
I remember I told
it's
Cal.
unacceptable.
Yeah, sorry, KJ. I was saying I told Cal about your stat where you've this game against Liverpool matched and then went past your entire last season. And Cal was like, "Nah, that can't be right." And I was like, "Bro, it is. Like Leeds have already, with 12 games to go, let in more goals than last season. It's mad, isn't it?"
Yeah, it's unacceptable. I mean, you guys saw the game yesterday. You saw how we're moved around the pitch like it's a school, like it's a game at the park. It looks like a few youths playing at the park where they will just follow the ball or just run around like headless chickens, and that's what we've got. And this is what I've been talking about since the start of the season in terms of getting out runners and getting some players that have got quality on the ball. But we've done nothing, and that's the gamble that the board have taken. And well, that's why we are where we are. We're not where we are by fluke. It's not just due to injuries. It's due to Bielsa's selections, his substitutions, and everything else like that. So that's why there are a lot of people that have just grown a little bit fatigued of the way it's gone. Because it's all, and just to finish on that, it's all well and good saying that it worked for us in the first 3 years, but at 2 of those years we were playing Luton Town and Middlesbrough and all those guys. You have to adapt as you go on, and there's just been none of that, especially in this season.
Yeah, definitely. Before I get everyone else's thoughts on the Bielsa situation, Cal, in case they're to do with the Tottenham, we've got some super chats, bro, to get through.
Conte about. I'm just reading out the super chat.
Why people gotta do me like that?
I'm just reading the super chat. This isn't from me. These aren't my words. Conte about to leave like Matt's hairline.
That's just unnecessary.
Isn't it?
Bassett one says, which midfielder pairing KDB and Hendo, Pogba and Fabinho, or Thiago and Kante?
Thiago and Kante.
Yeah, I'm taking the last.
Thiago and Kante.
Yeah.
Ace Bet Limited says, Conte is elite, but I don't see him as a process manager. He's a manager that needs ready-made players. The Spurs squad is better than Liverpool squad Klopp took over, and he's never complained.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think on that one, George? Do you think your squad is better than our 2015 squad?
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Surely with like the likes of Kane, Son, Romero,
Yeah.
Lloris, it's definitely better than what you had then.
Yeah.
You're
It was
right,
an
like,
injury-prone Sturridge, Coutinho.
Bro, we were in the
definitely,
mud.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
we kind of were.
Yeah, and I think Klopp was always going to be a long-term option, there, wasn't he? Whereas we know that Conte isn't. Like Conte isn't fit things now, so there just needs to be quite a few more top quality players to come into our side for things to change.
Yeah.
Ronaldinho the GOAT says, who are your top 3 players in the world right now?
It's quite tough. I was talking with Turkish today about this.
In the world right now.
I mean, in the world, Salah's got to be one, right?
Salah, Benzema, and Lewandowski, I think, I would say.
That's a hard one to kind of topple still. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anyone, like without trying to just do attackers, I'm trying to think, have we missed out a defender or midfielder?
It's weird not having a City player there this year, but it's almost all of them together.
Salah, Benzema, Andreas Christensen. Thank you.
You're really not giving up on this Christensen.
Nah, man, we don't stop until he eventually leaves in the summer, sadly.
That's a very good question.
All right, so yeah, just quickly before we move on, guys, anybody else want to touch on how they feel about what's going on with Bielsa?
Yes.
It's a shame, really.
Yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say, if we think about it, Leeds are in the mud. They've got a manager who I think his ideas are good, but doesn't have the players at his disposal. They haven't given him probably enough money to kind of refurbish that squad, because I think I've said this to KG before, like KG already knows this, like some of these players shouldn't be there. That they just shouldn't be there, bro. Like when you think of some of the caliber of players that they have, it's almost like some of them are actually outperforming because of the system he was able to get them to play the last couple of seasons. But now it's starting to show in it. Certain players just aren't good enough. And, you know, I know I joke about it all the time, but you got to look at your likes of your Rafinhas and your Calvin Phillipses and think they are going to want passes new unless something drastically changes. Like, unless they see like 4 very good players stepping in the summer, there's going to be a bit of an exodus, potentially, at least. I say potentially, because I still think, you know, the players that have been there for years and years, if they're not shipped on, they will stay, obviously. But you got your 2 big players to me, Calvin Phillips and Rafinha. I don't see them potentially staying if Leeds continue what they're doing. And not only that, if they get relegated, and it's not even out of the question because they're too hot and cold. And again, I kind of feel like they just haven't learned. And like KG says all the time, like this guy does man-to-man marking, no matter what, who's playing, doesn't really adapt to the situation. It's like, bro, you've got to make changes because the team that you're playing ain't the same team that you played against last week. You have to make these changes. So, and again, this is gonna look shady what I'm about to do. So KG, you know it's all love, but I'm about to bring something up. This is how it feels right now. Rafinha is literally Rafinha is literally holding up the camp. And when I say this, yeah, I'm being serious, but I'm also joking. This man is holding everything together. Do you see what's so funny about that picture? He's holding Bielsa.
No, I need the backstory. Did he knock him off the stool? I need
that was an accident. That was an accident.
Oh, an accident.
No, it wasn't an accident. But my whole point is, though, even though we laugh and joke about the picture, that picture says 1,000 words because, bruv, he's holding up the manager, but in my opinion, he's holding up the club. And I know KJ's going to hate me for putting that in there, so I'm going to expect the daggers coming my way later on, yeah? But if we deep it, and to be fair to K, you said it, I think yesterday when I saw the end of the show, when you were like, yeah, like, let's be real, he probably is gonna go, and it's a shame. And the reason I say it's a shame, and even though people say, "Oh, you're thinking," no, it's a shame because really and truly, Leeds United need to be in the Prem. I agree. Leeds United need to be there. They're one of the. When I think about Leeds United, they're one of the founders from when I started watching the Premier League. They were there, bro. And it'll be sad to see like them just get cherry picked apart. They go back down to Championship and they kind of got to rebuild again. So that's why I only hope that they do something drastic in the summer if they don't get relegated.
All right, before we move on, Aaron, let me ask you something, bro. As an outsider looking in, because I know KG's thoughts on this, are Leeds fans being too harsh, and are we maybe being a bit harsh as non-fans when a club like Leeds who don't have a big squad and don't have many star players, their star players have been out the majority of the season? Would you not expect this of any big club who had your Bamfords, your Phillips and a few others? Would you not expect this from any mid-table club that had their main hitters out for the majority of the season? Like, you know what I mean? Are we being a bit harsh to the Leeds fans maybe, even though we understand their frustration? Bielsa could do other things and do things differently. I mean, if you got your main hitters out, what are you meant to do?
It's a hard one. I understand Leeds fans because they've got every right to feel the way they're feeling right now, bro. Like, because at the end of the day, they didn't come up to the Premier League. You know, it's not a school trip. They want to stay. They want to stay. So when you've got a manager who's kind of stubborn in his ways, who doesn't want to change stuff, he wants to, you know, he believes in his way and it's his way or nothing else. I understand it, bro. I understand. So I don't think Leeds fans are being too harsh. I don't think as an outsider or you guys as outsiders are being too harsh. I think, you know, like Matt said, bro, when we grew up watching the Premier League when we were younger, Leeds were there, bro. Like people forget.
Harry Q and them, man. Viduka,
the younger generation.
Yeah.
The Vidukas, you know what I'm saying?
Rio, Ian Hart.
Rio, do you know what I'm saying?
Leeds were the last team to win the non-Premier League Division 1, right, KG?
Yeah.
Leeds are royalty, they are.
That is pain. I'm there with you.
That is pain when a man just went like this.
Especially the younger ones that are watching right now, they might not know this, but Leeds used to be in the Champions League, bro. You know what I'm saying? They used to play Champions League football.
Do you remember the core?
Yeah, Olivia, come on, man.
Bad boy.
You know what I'm saying,
listen, I'm not gonna lie. When they had Harry Q, I remember I used to say, I remember at one point Harry Kewell was, and I know you might not agree with this, Aaron, but some people might. At one point, I thought Harry Kewell was better than Giggs, and I'm not even capping, fam. At one point, you see, I'd say towards the end of Harry Kewell's career,
you're making a good point,
bro. Remember the goal against? I know it's only Arsenal, but you remember the goal at Highbury?
Ooh, yeah.
All right, guys, listen. Just to close off on this, yeah, and just to bring it back.
He's in his feels, man. I hear Marvin Room playing.
I didn't even say nothing.
You know, listen. Drifty out. If people are being harsh, in not being able to adapt, but this is all on the manager and the board, because you mentioned Calvin Phillips is out. Well, who's there to replace Calvin Phillips? Nobody. Bamford's out. Who's there to replace Bamford? Nobody. And the one striker that he should be playing, he doesn't play. So this is on the board and on the manager, and it's as simple as that.
Okay, we'll have to close it on that one. Obviously, I think we all here, apart from maybe Aaron, hope that Leeds stay up. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see how it develops. Another manager I want to move on to, Aaron. I want to move on to your boy. Because the question I want to ask, and I don't know whether people are going to agree or disagree, but Ralph Rangnick is actually doing a better job than I think it looks like he's doing. And I wanted to get your opinion on this, Aaron, because other than those 2 draws, you aren't actually losing like points, really, are you? You came back yesterday in the Champions League, a difficult away game. You made sure you still got out. Talk to me, bro. Is everyone going a bit over the top? Because Man United look like they're such a shambles with like the ownership and all that. What's Ralph Rangnick doing for you? How are you feeling about him, bro?
Listen, when it comes to Ralph, I feel like he's doing a decent job. I think you mentioned it there, 2 draws. I think it's 16 games, 1 loss, 2 draws, and the rest are all wins across the competition. So I don't know why people are complaining about this, because with our previous manager, what went horribly wrong is that he was very oblivious to what was happening. He kept lining up the same team. There wasn't much change. Substitutions were too late. And Rangnick has come in. First of all, he's the first manager in a long time who's come out and admitted that he made a mistake, because when we went up 2-0 against Villa, and then they came back because we made the wrong subs, and then the next game, I can't remember what it was, we made subs again around the same minutes, and we managed to win the game. Rangnick came out and he said, I made a mistake in the Villa game. I made the wrong subs, and we lost it, and we drew the game. So to hear that as a Man United fan, it's refreshing. Very, very refreshing. So I feel like he's doing a decent job, man. People are being too harsh because of the whole, gegenpress thing, and he's the professor, and he taught Klopp what he knows today. He taught what he knows today, and Nagelsmann and all these other managers that were under him. People expected him to come in, and all of a sudden we turn into the best gegenpress team in the world in less than a month. Like, he came in I think he came in December, a period where there's an average of 2-3 games a week. You don't have much time to train. You've got time to play, recover the next day, travel to the next ground the next day and play again. Like, it was never going to happen in less than a month. And people are just being reactionary at this point. And people forget he's not here for long. He's here to the rest of this, till the end of the season, and then he's moving up. That's it. So I think he's doing a decent job. And the thing I like about Rangnick is that he takes accountability, and he's not afraid to make changes where it needs to be done. Like, I've got my favorites in this team, and I'm not gonna lie. When he takes Pogba off, I'm like, really? But listen, hey, it is what it is.
But why though, bro? That's what I was gonna ask you. Every game, Pogba don't really play past the 65th minute, say? Why does he keep doing that? What is it?
Just come back from injury, though, isn't it?
He's just come back from injury, and Pogba tends to lose his focus after 60, 70 minutes. That's what I've noticed. Okay. He tends to just do a bit of, the skills that he does, and then he'll take it, instead of controlling it properly, he'll control it with his soul, and then he'll roll it, and then, do you know what I mean? He does these little things. A
little bit of an Ndombele situation, yeah?
Yeah, kind of. And yes, but all credit to Rangnick yesterday. Pogba was horrible, so he had to be taken off, and I fully agree with that. So I like about. I mean, he's not even scared to take Ronaldo off. And Ronaldo, I know when he got taken off against Brentford, he was moaning and why are you taking me off? Take one of the youngers off. Listen, I don't. That's what I like about Rangnick. He doesn't care if your name's Ronaldo, Pogba, Rashford. If you're not good, you're getting benched, and that's what I like about him. He's got that German ruthlessness about him, and you guys might know this with Klopp as well. So, listen, I think people are being too harsh on Rangnick, man. He's doing a decent job. We haven't lost as many games as we did under Oli in a short period of time. So, listen, let the guy do his job. He's here to the end of the season. Then he's moving up, and he's going to help us choose the next manager.
Fair enough, man. I mean, sticking with Man U and bringing a few others in, I'm going to talk about the top four quickly before we go on to the predictions. Lewis, let me ask you just quickly. Arsenal won today. I haven't seen the game, but I heard they've won. I looked at the table, bro. Are you a little nervous that they might be able to catch you if you don't get yourselves in order?
The only thing that will get Arsenal any closer to Chelsea is Chelsea. If we fumble it, if our attackers continue to be stormtroopers, then probably not. But here's the thing, like, in spite of our bad form, like, it's only been 2 losses in our last 30 games. So, in the grand scheme of things, we continue to churn out points. Like I've always said, the top 4 is inconsistent because that's the whole reason why you're in a top 4 race, because you're not consistent. We consistently get points. It's just our attackers aren't good enough. But there's always goals around the squad. So I think with Arsenal, they're bound to do an Arsenal sooner or later. Like, yeah, congratulations, you got a jammy win against Wolves at the end. Fair play. Shows resiliency and all of that. But they'll slip up sooner or later. Their 3 games in hand are against you guys, Spurs, and Chelsea. Now, Spurs, you could say they could get a result the way Spurs have been playing, but it's a North London derby. Like, form goes out of the table in those sorts of games. And form also favours the home team, and they're going to White Hart Lane. So I've got no reason to think it's cut and dry, just an Arsenal win. Spurs could get a result. Arsenal, the only result that they've had in our ground since 2011 was when we had no fans there, and we had Kurt Zouma and his 2 left feet costing us the game. So I'm not worried going into that game either. And Liverpool, Arsenal, you lot ain't worried about them either. So when it comes to Arsenal, not that worried. The club that worried me the most was Tottenham. And now with their recent form, I don't really see that. They've basically thrown away the majority of the games in hand that they already have. That's gone. West Ham, they've got a focus between this and Europa League, and I still don't think that they have the depth for it, so I'm not necessarily worried about them. United, they aren't consistent either, and they're capable of dropping points in games too. With us, we just rarely lose. It's just our attackers could cost us a game at any point, and we ain't really the best at defending set pieces. But I'm really not worried about a top 4 race. If we're in a top 4 race with 5 games left to go before the end of the season, the whole Premier League season's been an embarrassment from Chelsea's point of view. I'm not that worried.
I mean, Aaron, I come to you because you lot are in 4th. No, we'll get to Tottenham, George. Don't worry. You're in 4th right now, Aaron. Yeah, but I can't even lie to you, bro. With only a point difference and they've got 2 games in hand. Are you worried about Arsenal, bro?
I mean, just look at the table. They still got 2 games in hand. So,
I'm surprised.
Are we all sleeping on Arsenal? Because they've been a banter-rich club for a little while. Have we all been sleeping on them? Are they going to sneak in this back door?
They could, bro. They
could. 4th place maybe, but 3rd, nah, they're biting off a bit more than they can chew.
I do think Arsenal have had a lot easier fixtures compared to everyone else, though, in comparison.
Yeah,
it's the lack of Champions League football. It comes in clutch.
Well,
yeah.
That helped Conte win the league. Was it Conte win the league with Chelsea?
We nuked the league with the 3 midweeks we had through the season, and we got eliminated in the Carabao Cup early too. So it's easy for us through Christmas.
I mean, let's go under the premise that they win that game just for the LOLs. Yeah, they win that game in hand over Chelsea. That is a 2-point gap between Arsenal and Chelsea. We've been laughing at them all season, and they will be same games played, only 2 points behind 3rd place.
I don't like this.
Are we not sleeping on Arsenal, guys?
Listen, if they carry on,
I'm not involved.
I don't like this timeline personally.
I'm not involved.
Cal, talk to me. You've got the Arsenal friends that get on your nerves like I have.
Imagine after the game finished, at half time, I said to them, we're in a WhatsApp group with my football lot. I said, you lot probably win this game 3-1. Like, you've been the better team in the first half. They just got a goal. But you see when that goal went in, Yeah, we're back.
No,
Top
for
four.
fuck's sake.
Top four. Why are you speaking to me about it? Why are you speaking to me about it? I don't see Amir Khan bantering Manny Pacquiao. That's what you're right now. You're a chinny club that came through a fight. Well done, but don't speak to the top guys. Like, you're just lucky. You're a lucky club. You're a lucky team tonight. Enjoy your luck and move on. Don't start bantering clubs about it. Like, we've seen what you're about. Like, we've seen what your manager's about. Like, just behave yourself. It's annoying. They're a very childish club, and it starts right from the manager down. Like, you look at Arteta on the sideline, and he just looks like he needs a hug, but from an adult. He needs an adult hug because he just acts like a child all the time. Even his little side right hand man, he's just a shorter version of Arteta. I don't know where they find these lot. It's like you win one game, and all we hear is, even in the comments, I'm seeing, "Oh, did Arsenal learn tonight?" But, bruv, you're on a Liverpool channel. What are you doing? Don't banter us. You cannot banter Liverpool unless you beat us, and it's been a while. It's been a while since you beat us in a meaningful game. So just look, enjoy your win, take it, try and get top four. Because if you don't get top four, you failed miserably, because you out of everyone have had the most ability, the least amount of games, and spent the most money in the summer. So what are we doing here? Arsenal are acting like an underdog. How much did they spend in the summer? How much did they spend the year before that? It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hear that. George,
and what's going to happen?
No, go on.
What's going to happen? They'll get in the Champions League and lose 10-2 on aggregate again to someone.
10-2 on aggregate.
Someone.
No, 10-2 on aggregate. You think they're making it past the group stage? Come on, man.
That's it for me, by the way. That's it.
George, talk to me. I've said before, and I'll say again, and I don't mean this personally, Aaron, because I love you, but I don't want Man United getting top four. And George, you were the ones that I needed to do it. Give me. Is all hope gone? Is Tottenham's top four just done now? Is that it?
I think so. I think obviously, mathematically, we're still involved, and we could be. But let's be real. Like I was, you know me, like a few streams ago, a few weeks ago now, I was so confident because I had the confidence of the good runs that we had. We only lost to Chelsea at the time, which was understandable because we always lose to Chelsea away, typically. And what I liked under Conte, and what I said in the previous streams, is that we actually, under him so far, we had actually beaten the shitter teams that we should have beaten in the first place. We never normally used to do that. We were doing that. So that's why I was like so confident that we'd be in the top four conversation, because when I saw that we had Southampton, Wolves, Burnley coming up, and don't get me wrong, they're not the easiest walkovers on their day, but still, from what we had with Conte up until that point, I was fully expecting us to win those games. So that's two of our games in hand that we would have caught up with 2 wins. And we were saying at the time as well, if we won all our games in hand, we would have been a point ahead of Chelsea.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was so confident before because I could kind of see it happening. Everything was mixing well together to create that moment. But then after the Southampton and Wolves games, it's just sort of all just blown up in like our faces. And yeah, I think for us now, it's a case of really trying to win the FA Cup potentially to call this a successful season. I can't see us getting top four, to be honest with you, unless we go on some madness of a run. I can't see it happening.
Yeah. All right. So before we move on to the predictions for the weekend, I'm just going to ask everyone. I'm taking your car keys. I'm putting it in a bowl. Yes, no, and you win it, you keep your car. You lose it, someone else drives your car home. Who's the fourth team? George, who's getting 4?
Man U.
Lewis, who's getting 4?
Regrettably, Arsenal.
Fuck you.
Ooh,
I didn't like saying it either, man.
Who's getting 4, Aaron? Who's getting 4?
Who's that? Me.
Aaron. Oh, Aaron, sir. Who's getting 4, bro?
Us.
Okay. So we got 2 Uniteds and 1 Arsenal so far, right? KG, who's getting 4?
Yeah, Man United.
So 3 Man U's, 1 Arsenal. Matt, who's getting 4?
Man United.
Cal, he's getting 4th.
Man United.
So we've got 5 Man U's and 2 Arsenals. I think Arsenal's.
I hope I'm wrong.
No, I'm with you, Lewis. I think Arsenal's going to do it. I think they're just going to get over the line. I do.
The lack of European football is cost too much. Is the only reason why they're even in this fucking race.
Yeah, and it looks like Man U are going to progress to the next round, meaning they've got more. They've got to concentrate on the Champions League for a bit longer.
They're in the FA Cup too, aren't they?
No, you went out of the FA Cup, didn't you, Aaron?
Yeah, we went out to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, you did.
We got them next.
I completely forgot. Fair enough.
I don't know if Lewis is being sincere there.
No, I actually forgot, you know. I completely forgot.
Yeah, man.
All right. So, yeah, we'll see how it pans out. You know, most people think Man United. I think Arsenal's going to do it. I really do. But if you could bring up the fixtures for me, please, Matt, because this weekend we've got a big game between the panel. You're at home, KG, so I'm going to let you take this away, bro. Leeds have Tottenham coming to town. Both teams coming off the back of bad results and really need to get their season back up and running again. Neither team can afford a loss in this for obvious reasons. Talk to me, KG.
Yeah. I mean, this is a game where you think that we could possibly get something out of the run that we've got coming up, but I don't see it. I think that we're going to probably lose this one. I've predicted a 3-1 loss already, so I'm going to stick with that. I think this will be another one where we have to take the loss and then move on to Leicester away and see if that's going to be any better. Just to see if we can get back on track against another team that is currently stumbling. But that's the problem, though. We're stumbling harder than anyone else is stumbling. So even when Everton come up against us, we make them look like world beaters, and then they go and play Southampton and revert back to type again. So it's going to be one of those. It's going to be on the crowd to try and fire up this team because this team is lacking of quality and everything else. So it's up to the crowd to try and get the team over the line. But yeah, I can't say I'm optimistic. But it wouldn't surprise me if we did get something out of the game. But I'm going to go with the Spurs win. I think they'll be licking their wounds after the Burnley game as well.
I must say, KG, as much as you've made some very good points about Bielsa and stuff, if you get Man U, Liverpool, Tottenham and Leicester in a row, that is a very difficult run of games, bro. I can't even lie. That's a very difficult run of games, bro.
Yeah, but we also had Newcastle at home and lost that game as well, 1-0. We also had like I say, Everton 3-0 away. You know, December Brentford at home without Ivan Toney drew 2-2 with a last minute goal. It's just accumulation of exactly why we are in the league right now. So yeah, it's hard to be optimistic when you've won 5 league games. That's why I'm kind of glad you didn't scroll down in that table. You know, I saw the green and jealous, so.
I could do that for you, Kay, if you want. Do you want me to go back to the table?
You know what?
I
am interested in that table just to see how many goals we scored because I actually don't know that. But I know how many we've conceded, but I don't know how many we've scored. But if you just want to tell me just without bringing that table up, you know, you don't have to do all that.
All right. I'll do it off screen.
Yeah. I mean, George, talk to me because KG's not feeling confident for obvious reasons. As he just explained. But I'm not gonna lie, bro, your form is probably worse, if not the same as Leeds, right? I mean, 4 losses in 5 games. The Man City win brings you up, but I mean, 4 defeats in 5 games. I mean, talk to me, bro. What are you thinking about this one?
Yeah, it's weird how I'm like the opposite to Cajun. I think they're going to win this game. It's like, because it's so Spurs. It's so Spurs to for a team like Leeds to concede 10 goals in 4 days or whatever it was to then batter us afterwards. It's happened too many times for us. We I think like
Matt,
sorry. Just say it, man. We're all curious, Matt. Just say it.
I forgot I was supposed to mute that, by the way. That was just my private thoughts, bro. I was like, am I reading the right table?
How many goals have Leeds scored, bro?
Leeds have scored 29 goals, getting 56. They got minus 27. And KG, you know, it's all love, bro, but it's worse than Watford. It's the second worst in the league behind Norwich.
Good night, everybody.
Oh shit!
Jeez. I'm not gonna lie, that actually really shocked me because I thought it was bad, but I didn't know it was worse than, for example,
That's a goal a game,
I've been trying to
basically.
tell you, like, but you lot are not listening to just how bad it is. And somebody in the chat earlier mentioned about Mateus Click. The guy is a waste of space, and he's right with his shooting. He shoots like a 2-year-old. It's embarrassing the way that he shoots. It's so embarrassing. I can't tell you how bad. It looks like he runs through mud. And when he does take a shot, it's a pass back to the goalkeeper. But that's just one of many problems we've got now. So. Sorry, George, you go ahead, man.
No, look, honestly, like it is just such a Spurs thing. Like with how many goals Leeds have conceded, I just know because it's the fact that it's at Ellen Road. I know obviously you guys can provide a great atmosphere there, and from what I've seen with Spurs recently and how we've lost, it's been Southampton have come to our place and press us hard. We've struggled. Wolves had an easiest game of their life. They pressed us as well. We struggled. Even Burnley of all teams that sit back and do long balls. The amount of times I saw 3 or 4 players pressing onto our defence hard when we were just trying to kick it out from Lloris in defence is mental. And honestly, with the way Leeds play, of course, like it's that same sort of scenario. They're going to have a lot of forwards kind of pushing onto our defence and. Conte
Burnley did that to us, George. To be fair, that wasn't just you. They did that to us.
I know. Burnley get a shock win the other day as well.
They beat Brighton 3-0.
It contributes to how it's just to how we lost, and I think the fact that we're away from home and that the home tie was a close one as well. Obviously, they took the lead, and we managed to get back into it. But I feel like it can be a bit different away. I think my only hopes is that we know what Conte's stubbornness like. He didn't want to. When we lost 3 in a row, he said, "There's no way I'm losing 4." And he was like, after losing to Burnley, he's like, "There's no way I'm losing to Leeds." I feel like he's got that sort of fire in him to hopefully get us on the win. But mate, this game could go either way with the way we've been at the moment. So
I need to know what I'm doing for my accumulator, George. So KG told me I'm supposed to go Tottenham. What am I supposed to do, bro? What's your score?
Oh, I can see us just bending over, man. We're just too nice. Like the whole conversation's always been, we're just too nice.
George, I think you're stressing about this way too much.
Mate, listen. It doesn't matter. We struggled against Watford. We struggled against Burnley. We struggled against everyone.
You know what this is? You know that meme going around are like 2 homeless people fighting. This is exactly what it sounds like.
This is what when I heard the thing. This is what I thought.
Oh man!
Oh my days, bro.
Obviously, the goal difference of Leeds is atrocious, but we're 8th with -1 this far into the season. It's embarrassing to be where we are.
Is it -1?
That's peak. That is peak.
It is terrible.
That's peak.
Which is why I'm not confident we'll score a lot of goals either. But look, I'm always going to back my team. I do think we can win. I think it's going to be a ropey one, and I'd say probably a 2-1 again sort of situation.
2-1. You know what, KG, you're always spot on with the lead scores, so I think I might have to put actual 3-1 in my accumulator. I'm not even going to lie. I'll split the money with you if I get it still.
For anybody in the chat that didn't know, I actually predicted and put it in my, Super 6 and all that, 6-0 to Liverpool. So
he did. He put it in the group, guys. He's actually telling the truth. He actually did predict Liverpool 6-0. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to go with that.
So you're saying 5-0 Spurs, right? Yeah, so.
Got to get it up. Aaron, what are you thinking, bro? As an outsider looking in, this game's got to be game of the weekend in terms of just not having a clue who's going to win it, right? It's going to be the most entertaining game, I think.
Yeah, but I think Spurs got this one. I think Spurs, especially after what happened with Conte and the comments that he came out with, I think it's going to wake them up for that game at least.
What's your score prediction, bro?
2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs. Okay, so we've got 2 Spurs and we've got... Oh, no, we've got 3 Spurs. So we've got 3 Spurs so far. Lewis, what are you thinking, bro?
I'm going 2-1 Leeds. I think Leeds will be the 12th man with their atmosphere as usual. I think Spurs are still going to fumble it a little bit. They need to respond from Conte's comments, but I don't think this is the right atmosphere for them to be in. So I think they're going to drop more points.
3-1 Leeds, you say, yeah?
Yeah.
3-1 Leeds. Matt, what are you saying, bro?
Would not be surprised.
Do you know, I was just thinking when everyone else was talking, this is actually tougher than I think, because even though really and truly this should be a Spurs win, Conte's comments might do a bit more damage than maybe what we expect. You know, I think there's going to be certain players thinking, "Right, man's talking about me." Like, what if I'm not? What's he meant to say? What, man, trying to put man on blast and that, yeah? Bro, can you imagine that? Everyone other than Kane is going to take it personally. We're a big man thing. Everyone other than Kane and Son will look at man and think, "Who you talking to?"
I think Conte was cheekily talking to Lloris personally.
No,
but yeah,
I think he was saying to the squad.
No,
like,
he
man,
actually rates Lloris quite a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
he kind of enjoyed what he's seen, though.
No, of course, but he was part of the reason he got a new contract. Ever since he got the new contract, actually.
Yeah, but
when he started making these mistakes.
But I think Lloris has had some good saves. But no, I think, do you want to know something? This is me. For me, if the crowd get behind Leeds and Rafinha puts on a clinic, I'm actually going to say Leeds might nick it, because Spurs can be that team where it's like, you should be winning this game theoretically, but then like they'll just drop a stinker. Like they'll just drop it, like kind of what you said, out of nowhere. It's be like, bruv, like you beat Man City, then you lose to Brighton, but now you're expected to beat Leeds, but your manager tries to.
No, they beat Brighton, bro, in the FA Cup.
Sorry, they beat
Burnley.
Burnley. No, who did they lose to in the Premier League? Burnley, yeah. Then like Conte gives them a choke slam. It's like, I don't really know. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna go Leeds, bro. I'm gonna say Rafinha to win it 2-1, bro.
This is the thing. Rafinha's coming up against Davis, and I don't think he'll be Sessegnon this time. He'll be Reguilon, which is a bit better. But Sessegnon's been pretty poor. So if he's coming up against those two, oof.
I can see
Leeds. Yeah, but George, he has to get the ball first, and as the Liverpool
we'll give it to you.
No,
we don't press. Yeah. We don't press.
Give them the ball, and then they won a penalty from it and got the ball.
But no disrespect to Spurs, they're not us though.
They're not you. I get it.
You will get it. You'll get, and not even that, KG. Like Rafinha is one of them players, because he takes his thing personal as we see the way he plays, bro. So I can tell he's gonna put on the clinic. Whether it helps or not remains to be seen. But I think he'll have a big performance. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Leeds.
Cal, what do you say, bro?
Call me a madman.
I'm going 3-0 Tottenham.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Cal's always got my back, you know. I'll rate it. Come on, son.
I think it's gonna be a barnstorming 2-2. I can see a high scoring draw in this game. I really can. So I'm gonna go 2-2.
Leeds can't defend if they can't. Sorry, KG.
But bro, to be fair, other than the Man City game, Tottenham aren't defending well either, though, bro. So
but they can attack, though, bro.
Yeah, the midfield and Leeds is midfield and defense. It's rough, bro.
Bro, look how well Leeds attacked against Aston Villa. It's not like they can't.
No, I know I get you, but bro, you see when I watched them last night,
no, they look rough.
Like when I take my Liverpool hat off and I watch the game back.
But that's us, though. You're thinking of the transitions that we do is different, though.
I hear that, Matt, but I don't see us doing that to Tottenham, though, Matt. That's the thing. We ain't gonna beat Tottenham 6-0.
No,
yes, they were lucky to lose 6-0.
Styles, mate.
I think a few of your squad players would have been disappointed with their performances yesterday, because it was a chance for them to really, impress. And I think Curtis Jones is one. I think he would have probably backed himself to score in that game. And even Trent had a really quiet game for his capabilities. So
did Fabinho miss a sitter as well? Was he the one that
Fabinho should have made?
Yeah. Salah. Diaz.
Don't worry about that.
We'll see. We'll see. Cal, we got any more super chats to get before we go into the next game, bro?
Yeah, please move on.
Lord Morgan says, if only Bielsa got time and money and loyalty, Arteta gets shame. Very true. Here we go. Liverpool losing to us at the Emirates. No title for you. No title for Arsenal either, brother. No title for Arsenal.
I don't know.
Arsenal talking about title, you know.
You know what? I forgot. Silly me. Gunner logic. Arsenal will learn against someone and they'll win the top 4 trophy potentially, and they'll set up a parade and all that like they do, and they'll new kits and swag and that, innit?
They might as well follow in Napoli's thing and get Armani to give them the sponsor, innit? Because they love swagging it out.
Well,
bro.
but as soon as they lose another game, we'll see their new kit releases, innit?
Is this one based on a train rather than a bus this time?
Yeah. Or they'll release a Chippy advert.
Yeah, because someone would have run a
there's
train on them.
Ramsdale chip shop one now.
Yeah, what was that advert? Was weird. He like lifted the chips like it was a trophy. Like, what the
Fair, bro. Lord Walker says Rafinha 25 mil on Leeds being relegated. Rafinha, hello Liverpool.
Don't know about
Yeah,
that.
that's a rumor.
Yeah,
man. That hasn't even been confirmed. So
Facts, that's right.
please.
Ronaldinho to go celebrate like they won the Champions League. Mediocre banter club. Hashtag Gunner Logic.
I like this one from Big Yards. Arsenal have to stay out of big people conversation. Remember your parents used to say when big people are talking, you must shut up.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next panel. We've got Manu at home to Watford. Aaron, talk to me. Surely you're feeling confident about this one.
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. Watford are not. I don't see them as a threat, even though last time we played them, we lost 4-1, and that was Ollie's last game.
That sounds so mad that you even just said that out
It's
loud.
weird,
bro.
isn't it?
I cannot believe you just said that out loud and it's real.
We lost. That was Ollie's last game.
The man
But
That was the last time Josh King scored a goal.
Imagine losing 4-1 to Watford.
watch out for man like what's it? Is it Dennis?
Dennis.
Watch out for
Dennis.
Dennis.
No, Dennis is
Dennis
a
the
baller.
Menace.
Dennis is a baller. He's
Dennis
a
the
baller
Menace,
still.
you know.
Yeah.
But listen,
yeah, I rate Dennis, but I don't think.
other than that, it's
I don't think Watford will be a threat, man. I think we're going to win this. We might concede a goal because we've got Maguire at the back, but
I don't think he will.
But I think we'll win this comfortably. I'm going to say 3-1. United.
Just quickly, bro. Where's Bailly?
Training, but he's not there.
No, because he came back. He came back from the AFCON,
He's
and
about.
I didn't even know he'd come back because
I
he
said
hasn't
he's
been
around.
What's going on? Like, surely Bailly's better than Lindelof.
Yeah, but he can't stay fit, bro. That's his problem.
Bro, Bailly better than Maguire.
Bailly was fit for the whole AFCON.
No, he wasn't. He went off injured at one point. There was a
Did he?
game.
No, but then he played the next game, so it was like a minor thing, though, right? Like he was because he took part in their final game as well. I don't know. I just thought I'd ask because he's better than Lindelof, but.
Yeah, so do I. But I think he's got one foot out the door as well. I think he might leave at the end of the season because him not staying fit is one problem, but him not getting game time is another problem. So yeah. I think he's out the door.
Fair dues. I think he's Man U's best centre back apart from Varane, but yes, I just thought I'd ask what was going on with him still.
Yeah.
George, what are we thinking about? Any chance Watford can pull something off here, or are you going Man U?
No, not this time, to be honest with you. I think Watford under Hodgson at the moment have been a very defensive-minded team. I think obviously Dennis got in the last game, but in the previous, 5 or 6 games, him and King have done F-all. They've not been good at all. So obviously they got the win against Villa, but I think I've just not been that impressed in the last few games. So I think this is, especially since it's at home, it's a 3-0 Man U win for me.
Okay, cool. KG, what are you saying, bro?
1-0 Man United.
Cool. Lewis, what are you saying, bro?
Could be a 1-0 or 2-0 thing, to be honest. I don't think they'll wipe the floor with Watford, but they will get the result. They'll beat them. I'll go 2. I'll go 2-0.
2-0 Man U. Matt?
2-0 Man United.
I'm going to stick with 2-0 myself. So, yeah, Cal, finishing up. What do you think, bro?
3-1 United. Can I just say, though, all this time it's hit me. Harry Maguire, HM revenue, Maguire tax, starting to make sense now. Starting to make sense.
Shit. Somebody throw some tomatoes at this guy, please.
It's making sense now. It's making sense. That tax is heavy. Tax is heavy. Tax is heavy.
Oh,
he's in the 50% bracket.
Big up Ralph Wiggum.
Heavy tax.
Oh man! Before I get all of you lots cup predictions before we move on, is this a stupid question to ask? Is there any way Everton can get a draw in the game against City because they're at Goodison? Is there any hope in the game?
Yep. Always trust Super Frankie Lampard's tricky blues. They can get a result. Come
Nope. Nope.
No, Lewis. I want to hear more about what you got to say, bro. I want to hear more
With a
about Lewis.
solid-
Got to say. Talk to me, Everton. They can get a draw out of this game, yeah.
Everyone get a draw.
Look, Lewis is talking positively about a team that's playing Man City. I want to hear it. Go on, bro. Talk.
All right, go.
I mean, free-flowing, attacking football. Super Frankie Lampard's tricky blues, the best manager in Merseyside. Who's to say he can't get a result? Who's to say? Don't judge. Don't judge.
This is what I'm
He's got him
saying.
ticking, man.
Oh, God. I'm fucking thinking it.
I tell you what, Lewis. He's the best Premier League manager in Merseyside playing a Premier League game this weekend. How about that?
I see what you've
I still
done.
don't even think so.
He can have that while we're off in the cup final with it. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, so nobody feels like there's any hope that Everton can get at least a draw in this game now.
I don't think so.
Don't let our win cloud Man City. They still battered us.
No, I know, but I need hope. I need the hope to remain. You know,
To be honest, Everton are going to get the pissed off Man City after a defeat response. So it's going to
which
be
is the worst. This could be 5-6. This could be dangerous. Didn't
It's
they
gonna be
just
horrible.
You're just going to see Pep fiddling on the touch and just doing
He does that there sometimes, you know.
oh
Yeah,
man.
he's got to get Estonian though for that. No.
Turns around, he's got D squared on his back or something.
We don't need striker. We don't need striker. Sterling, unbelievable. We don't need him. We don't need him.
Oh man. So obviously, to let you guys know, we're gonna have a special cup final preview on the weekend on Saturday around late lunchtime. Lewis is going to be on that, so big up Lewis for jumping on that. That's going to be a big one. So obviously we're not going to chop it up between us, but I just want to get Aaron, KG, and George's thoughts on how the cup final will go. Aaron, I'll start with you, bro. How do you feel the cup final is going to go? Liverpool, Chelsea.
I think this will be very, very interesting. What was the last result between you guys in the league? What was it?
Two draws. We've had two draws this season.
It's gotta be a winner. Has to.
Tough this one.
1-1 draw, 2-2 draw. We've had two draws this season.
You know what? I think it might be a draw until the end, and then Liverpool might nick it.
Okay. What, 1-0 1-0 extra time or 1-0 full time then?
I'm gonna say 2-1 extra time, Liverpool.
Okay. KG, what do you think? How do you think this one's gonna go, bro?
Yeah, man. I think it's going to be a tight one, man. I think it is going to go extra time as well, but I can see Mr. Havertz coming up with the goods and getting the winner.
Why are you gonna do that?
Let's go. Come on, King Kai again. Let's do this.
Okay, we got 1 Liverpool, 1 Chelsea then. So what do you think? 1-0 KG, you're saying to Chelsea in extra time, you're saying?
I'll probably say 2-1. 2-1 to
Okay.
Chelsea, yeah.
2-1.
Oh, this man.
Nah, that hurt my feelings. I can't lie. Man actually doubled down and went 2-1.
Come on, guys. Objective thoughts here. Just because the Liverpool channel doesn't mean we have to keep
No,
it.
you're right. They hurt my feelings. The man just doubled down and went 2-1.
You really said hold that like he holds Bielsa. Jesus.
So George, what are you thinking, bro? How do you think the game's gonna go, bro?
If I'm being real with you, I've not got a clue. Because I feel like in a normal sense, this has a draw written all over it. But obviously, I can't be. It's got to be close regardless. I don't think any team's going to walk over anyone else. Extra time makes a lot of sense. I can't really see anyone get anyone out. It's weird. I just feel like we haven't seen Chelsea play in like months because they've been away for so long. This is weird. So I don't know what to expect, to be honest. I don't know who's back from injury, who's not. So who's going to nick it?
Reece James is back, Lewis. You said, right?
He should be, but I don't think he starts
Is he?
anyway.
Okay. That's big for them. That's big for them, mate.
I heard he was out for the season. That's mad. He's back already.
No, he was on the
Still
bench
not.
for the game against Lille, but he hasn't started the game, so it wouldn't be smart to throw him into.
Is it Chilwell that's out a lot longer? Is it
Yeah,
Chilwell?
Chilwell's out till the end of the season.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Chelsea defenders love to score. You know what? I think Liverpool will nick it.
What score are you going for?
It's about time Chelsea lost the cup final. So.
Yeah, you just say what you want, not what you think.
No, I don't. It could go either way, but I fancy Liverpool.
What score are you going with then, bro?
2-1 as well. I agree with KG.
Okay. So we've got 2 Liverpool and we've got 1 Tottenham.
Cigars are coming out, baby.
Tottenham.
Tottenham.
I mean,
I've already got
that's
my
a trophy.
3 rolls for Sunday night. Don't worry.
yeah, sorry, my bad. So yeah, guys, as I said, tune in on around about 2-3 o'clock on Saturday. We're gonna do a big preview for that game, and then obviously you'll get the thoughts of Lewis and us in that one, and there'll be a couple other Chelsea fans on that one as well. So that one will be very interesting. So we're just gonna finish up now with the Fantasy League table, Matt. If you could bring that up for me, please, bro.
Hallelujah. Something to be happy about.
Maybe don't look at it.
Oh, that bottom half.
Imagine that triple captain in Salah this week, guys.
In
Imagine
it,
that.
KG. Hey, imagine that,
Yeah.
KG. Hey,
Yeah.
me and KG out. Listen.
No. And you know what? KG, Matt, and George, well played for doing the triple captain on Mo, because it was a risk.
I wild carded. I didn't triple captain.
Oh, did you not triple captain him?
Oh, you
Okay.
wild carded.
You did
Yeah,
brilliantly then if you didn't triple captain Salah and you got the most points out. Oh, no, Matt just got better than you. Right, your points are good considering you didn't triple
And I had
captain them.
13 points on my goalkeeper on the bench as well.
Yeah, Nick
Right.
Pope.
Still be-
Yeah.
I'm the
Certainly.
Mad.
I'm the Bielsa of this league still.
I'm not gonna hold on a minute. How you got 42
You
points?
see what happens when you predict a loss for Liverpool.
No, it's
Especially
not
man.
even that. So I tell you what, I'm just being negligent, brother. And I'm not changing my ways because I'm not.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
But Lewis had a brilliant week as well, 87. But yeah, do you know what? To be fair, I didn't think Mo was gonna play, and that was the reason I didn't captain him. And then you know what Klopp did? The thing he never does, drop Trent, who I made captain. So I was like, fuck. So, it is what it is.
What's that score for Aaron there?
48. You
48.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, man. I forgot.
Always that.
Don't worry, man. I forgot for like a month, so we're both here.
Yeah. I mean, somebody here had Mo on their bench, but we won't reveal who it was still.
Ooh, yeah, they did,
But
didn't it?
yeah,
Nah,
we'll revisit next week, obviously, and we'll see how it's going. But at the moment, like
you
George
all
is just
playing games and throw stones, huh?
Yeah, but
George is doing a full Man City out here, and he's just pulling away. KG's doing the Liverpool. He's
How
trying
come
to
me
keep
and
it
KG
competitive.
No, me and KG got over 130 points, and George wildcarded and still got. Nah, you're cheating. I don't
It's
care.
mad, isn't it?
I'm looking at your team. In fact, let me look at you. Nah, no minimum exposure. I'm gonna look at your team live. Go
And you know what?
deep.
George is actually over 200 points ahead of KG, which considering KG has a good week most weeks, I'm like, do you know how well George is doing to always consistently be
How
ahead?
is he over
It's
200
actually
points
crazy.
ahead of? I'm not gonna lie. 'cause
It's
he-
mad.
Conte walks, Tottenham hire me. I'm telling you, we'll get back to glory.
I look like George is ripping up the league, you know.
But no. All jokes aside, big up you three. 130 plus for all three of you. That's big. The triple captain on Mo was a good. And you know what, KG, I'm actually kind of blaming you for why everyone did it, because you put it in the atmosphere and then they all did it. You should have kept it to yourself, bro. To be fair, you should have kept it to yourself.
That was obvious drift, man. Salah
That was
at home to Norwich and Leeds. It was inevitable. I think it was like over 1 million people that did it as well.
Yeah,
So it
I was
wasn't
going to do
secret.
it. That was always my plan. But then they last minute on the Friday, they announced the 2 double game weeks in 28 and 29. So I said, you know what, I've got a wild card and capitalize on that as well. So
You know what? That's
Yeah,
why I
man.
kept my triple captain for when it gets a little bit more peak down the line. But I didn't think Mo would play against Norwich. I really didn't think Mo would play against Norwich. So you know,
It's about utilizing it where you think that the players will just return, and obviously Norwich and Leeds at home. Salah, they were just going to feast all day long. So it was
even if he
inevitable.
played one of those games, he would get like
Yeah, even
Yeah.
if they played
They get
one,
loads
even
of
if they played one game, it was decent. So to get the 84 points, that's more good than good use of that chip. Easy.
Yeah, no, fair play, man. Fair play. That was big, man. So there you have it, people. You had a little over 10 minutes longer than you're supposed to, but obviously, you know what I mean. We got to bring you the banter. We got to bring you the fun. As I say, always, guys, make sure you go and check the description. Make sure you go and support all of these guys, and make sure that you smash the like button and subscribe if you're new to our channel as well, guys.
Alex George says, George,
Oh,
FPL is
man.
the only league you ever winning. That is harsh, George.
That is hard.
listen,
needed.
I have a trophy for it, so I'm happy with it. No worries.
You know what I mean? But you know what? To be fair, Arsenal won today, so they're allowed to banter everybody because they beat Wolves, remember? So,
No, they're not. No,
Yeah.
they're not. They're not.
Come on,
Hey,
next
congratulations, you beat Wolves.
Yeah, they banter the teams below them. They don't banter above. That you don't.
I mean,
do that.
technically, that Tottenham are below them.
No, that's. But you said everybody.
Why?
They can't
Why?
banter everybody.
Aye, we look out for ourselves. They ain't coming for the world champion, so we don't want to hear it.
That was the need for that still.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I've
top four is
worked
going to
on
be
this.
interesting, man. But as always, guys, make sure you check in the description and subscribe to all the other guys, man. Make sure you get over there. You know what I mean? We had a full panel today. Love for everyone for being on today. It was brilliant, as always, having you all on. Matt Cow, as always. Love, brothers. I'll see you boys tomorrow at 7 o'clock for, obviously, Kopish calling. And, yeah, make sure you smash the like button, guys, on your way out. And we'll see you next week for another Prem Panel Show. If you could take us out, Matt. Peace, people.